So, let's say okay. So after the saleswoman thing, I was waiting for you to say you didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Just I was waiting for. I was surprised you said that. So, what was your favorite part about selling cars, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly,
Was it the driving the new cars?
no, it was meeting people. So obviously, people come in for test drives and whatever. You're meeting everyone from age 16 with their parents getting their first car to I sold like one to like a 80-year-old and they were like, not gonna lie, this is my last car. And I was like, okay, like, so you just met a lot of different people and that was my favorite part. Like, you just have to find out what someone likes and needs and not oversell them on something they don't have the money for or want. And it was fun. Like, it was like a little game kind of
car
like.
sales people really think like that?
I did. I was different though.
Okay.
And that's why I was successful. They even told me the reason I was successful was because I had a completely different approach. I wasn't focused on the money, even though it was great. If you think about it, because there's other dealerships that are competitors too. As long as you're leaving a mark in their head, they're most likely going to come back, reach out to you if they don't buy it on the spot, or like, oh, I need to think about it, and then go to 3 other shops. Well, we liked her. And a lot of people actually did tell me, like, I remember like one day I was out the office because it was like my day off, and they were like, where's Lily? Like, we liked the young girl that was ambitious. And I was like, that's nice. Like, and the other salesman like couldn't steal my client basically. But no, I sold like one family a Tahoe because we sold new and used cars. I worked at Volkswagen, and like one lady was like so happy with her purchase. She like painted me mini canvases with like a thank you letter. Like, it was just so sweet. So it was a heartfelt job. You got to meet a lot of cool people. So that was my favorite part. Granted, I knew nothing about cars starting, but now I do. So
okay, learned a little something as well. Okay, so from the beginning up to that point, what role was music playing in your life?
Music. I don't know. I always grew up listening to music. I think everyone did, right?
For sure.
In the car, at the house, we had a CD player. My sister had an iPod Touch. Like, it goes way back, I personally, I would say like the first real memory I have of it was like 5th grade choir club or whatever. I forgot what it was called exactly. Obviously we took music class when it was like forced upon us.
Of course.
But no, like the first core memory I have is I did play flute in 6th and 7th. Did I play it in 8th grade? Middle school. I played it in middle school. And I'm actually glad, like, my mom did want all of us to play an instrument. Both my sisters played piano. One of them plays oboe, one plays clarinet. Like, I don't know, like, I'm mad I didn't learn piano because that would have been very helpful. We have one.
I say that every day.
We have one, and
I'll be
still
trying
haven't
to
learned.
make beats.
I want to learn to play guitar, but that's a whole nother beast.
Yeah, I'll probably.
A whole nother. Like, people say that takes years to learn.
I
but
bet. So I mean, it's gonna take me 100 years.
Right, me too, because I have no attention span. But yeah, that would probably be like my main core memory was band in middle school. But even that wasn't like the vocal side of it. I would say the first time I had like, this isn't even music, but my first like memory of like realizing how powerful words were was actually junior year of high school. My English class had like a field trip in the city, and it was for a poetry slam, and it was competing high schools. I don't think there was a prize. I can't remember, but it was just interesting.
Everybody wins in high school,
right? Everybody. It was a bunch of young high schoolers like giving their, I call it performances, because it was a show. Like, some people had like stomping routines to it. Other people had like more expressive like dance, like slow lyrical like movements to their poetry. Other people just stood there monotone but with a purpose to get their point across. Like, there was just so many ways, and poetry was like, that was like the first time I realized like, okay, well, music is poetry. Hey, I like writing. Like, let's, kind of like see. That was probably like my first like music writing experience. I did not compete, but I watched and definitely was like, oh wow, like this is powerful. And like some of them hit, like they were deep stories. Like, I remember one was like, I don't even know, it was like 5 years ago, but it still impacts me. So, yeah, that's
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you said you always loved writing. What type of form of writing was that? Was it always poetry, or was you doing the school newspaper? What did that look like?
You have great questions, but you know what?
I love
See,
that.
now that you say that,
we live for that response.
I know
Sorry
you do, because guess what? The
off.
questions do go a long way. It feeds the conversation. So I do appreciate good questions. And when it feels like you're, we talked about not wanting to be like scripted, but prepared, still knowing like what you want to get across. But now that you asked that question, you just reminded me, even in elementary, like I remember I was in this, it was called like Hey classes, like after school programs. And I was in like the press writing one. And like you just pulled that out of my memory because I forgot I was even in that. So
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, but writing, where did that first happen? I would say the form it first happened in was I always liked writing about other people. So like whatever, when my coach retired, I loved, writing out not an essay, but like paragraphs about her and her career and like how much she impacted me. For people's birthdays, like I always loved, expressing how much you care about someone or, just the influence they had on you. I don't like writing about myself, but that's another story. Music wise though, even now, like when I do write, because I do write all my own songs, I pull inspiration from, so like let's say one song, like one lyric can be about distance, let's say, but like it could be about my grandma, but then like the rest of the song could be about like a lover. Like I try to mix, people don't know that because it all makes sense, and you could be like, oh, she's talking about the boy the whole time, when the whole time like this verse is about my family, this verse is about like myself. So like you kind of just have to intertwine it. I'm getting off topic, but writing, it's creative, you just can go any way. I know like some people are like, oh, they don't rap about what they actually do in life, but that's the whole point. Like creative writing, we had topics like that where you're supposed to free the mind and make up a story.
They don't say that about movie creators. Like, why don't they just make movies?
What is a movie
about
script?
Why don't they just make movies about what they do every day?
Right, nonfiction, fiction. It's just endless. That's the cool part. But no, for the most part, actually, I think all my lyrics have meaning and happened in my life. So, but right now I feel like I'm still surface level. I haven't fully opened up in my lyrics, but you hear enough to know, some of the stuff I've done or did or do. Okay,
for sure. And before we jump into the music a little bit more,
right.
You did throw in there your coach. So what was you on playing sports?
Yeah. So that was I cheered since 7th grade to junior year of college, but remember that whole community college thing, so we skipped the year. But yeah, since 7th grade I cheered for basketball and football and also did competitive. I honestly loved it. Like I started as a flyer. I don't even know if people know these words, but then I was the base. I definitely don't. Right, the flyer's the person.
When I think of cheer, I think of
so the flyer's the person in the air.
Also, the jumping up and
no, like holding person in the air. I used to be that. That was before I hit my growth spurt. Okay. Then in high school, I was the base, which is the person holding the person up. But something about that, like it's so thrilling being able to like throw and catch. So I have to show you some videos after this. I bet it is. Look up some all-star cheer videos. I bet it is
thrilling to throw somebody 15 feet there.
It is. Maybe not 15, but maybe. I don't know. I'm not good at
shit. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, other than that, I did track since 8th grade to senior year of high school. So, kind of two different sports, but also shaped me completely different. Definitely is the reason for my physique. And just a huge part of my personality and characteristics too is just my discipline, my drive, I noticed that it sprouted with sports. They do. For sure. Discipline's something everyone needs, to be honest. And if you're not disciplined, start.
If you ain't disciplined, you're going to be under a bridge somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so.